When you read in the Bible, Jesus, he was a pretty radical guy, and therefore, where did he hang out with? He hung out with the people that other people of faith didn't hang out with. So I actually think, would the people have built this and only seen it used once or twice a week, would they have been happy with that? I think the answer is no. They built this incredible building and they wanted to see it used.
I find it as kind of a worship thing. I feel like you can worship God through skating, you can worship God through art, you can worship God through dancing, music, anything. It's just this joy. So what you say about going out and skating by myself, that's fine because I don't feel like I'm skating alone. I always feel like there's someone with me.
It's a market town, so this was always been the centre of the town community. And so people come from all over the country to check it out. The church originally, I think, was twice the size it is now, because at the moment it's like there, that's the length of the church going through here. In the old days, there was a cross to it, so that's fallen down, and I think that's fallen down over the years, and at various stages been rebuilt again. This event has been going on for 8 years, and it was a brainchild of a number of people at the Abbey, ringing myself because we have a mobile skate park and saying, would you consider partnering with us for this mad adventure? And as you can see, fantastic place.
A church is willing to get involved in skate activity. That is the most life-changing thing here. Abbey Skate is it's the first of this kind of in an Abbey skating thing where people are saying, come into our church and skate. That's the first thing I've ever seen. So for an Anglican church to get involved in skate ministry is very, very rare.
Well, I'm a Christian myself, and hence Christian surfers, Christian skaters, and I just think breaking down preconceived ideas about what church is used for is just fantastic. And this church has had a reputation for doing things a bit different, even though it's an amazing church.
A lot of young people that I work with said the first time they ever met me, they didn't think I'd be a Christian because I skate. So it's quite interesting to see people's reactions to it. People are just surprised. They're like, but you're skating, you're not swearing, you're not smoking, you're not doing drugs, and it just shocks them. And sometimes I don't even need to tell people that I'm a Christian because they go, you're different. Why are you different?
I always think you're never too old to stop skating, but the fact that it does break preconceived ideas, and I still, on my 50th birthday I surfed and skated on the same day just to prove I could, despite what my friend said. And it's just great to know that, healthy lifestyle, you can just carry on surfing and skating for, there's a 54-year-old on the skate park, and there's a bit of novelty value about it, so there's a bit of respect. Oh, can you really skate type thing?
If you were in your 30s and taking up kite surfing, nobody's going to really question you, I don't think. If you took up squash, that is quite a hard sport. Nobody's going to question you. So I do think there is something about skateboarding where people think that you have to be a kid, that it's a kid's game. But if you look at what skateboarding involves, and some of the tricks that these skateboarders of any age, actually, from the very young doing gnarly tricks to the much older, it's more than a sport. It's not a game. It's certainly not a game. It's more than a sport. I guess there is a degree of culture that goes with skating, same as with surfing, the surf culture thing. But do you know what? Actually, just because you skate doesn't mean you have to wear the same clothes that a skater wears. You know, why not skate if you're a girl? Why not skate in a dress? There is a culture, but you don't have to fit into that. If you want to skate. You've got to not be afraid of falling. You've got to not be concerned about hurting yourself or having bruises. You know, if you're going to be precious about something, then maybe skateboarding isn't for you. Although I love seeing people having a go.
I was known at my university as that person that has accidents. My first year I was at hospital 16 times, second year was only 8, and the third year was like twice. So I'm getting better.
Heading down a hill, it's got speed wobbles on a longboard, and just the worse it got, slam. And I didn't break anything, but it was pretty grazed up.
I fractured this wrist 6 times. So that's, and I pulled all the ligaments and tendons in this foot. But the worst accident I've ever had, I shattered my heel in 3 places.
You okay, Skittles?
If I'm honest, all the events we do, we insist that the skateboarders wear helmets. I wear a helmet. If I'm street skating, I probably don't. If I'm just, cruising, I don't wear a helmet. But in a skate park, I always will do. And there's been times when I whacked my head so hard that I just knew. My son, it's an ongoing challenge with him. He goes on the skate, where's your helmet, Joe? Oh yeah, I forgot. So I think there's risks involved. I think a lot of skate parks, the bad reputation, because it's not those people that hang out there that really skate that have a bad reputation, it's other troublemakers. So just to see people in an environment where they can show their mums and dads, parents and guardians that it's a safe environment, it's a great environment, and actually they can improve.
Part of what we do is try and break this thing, because you have a lot of scooters at a skate park, a lot of skaters, a lot of BMXers, a lot of bladers, and they usually hang together in their little own groups. So what I try and do is work on breaking those barriers between them, because the skaters hate the scooters because the scooters get in their way. So we work with the scooters and helping them understand there's kind of an etiquette to the skate park. So through that, then the skateboarders have started teaching the scooters how to do different tricks as well, and some of them have started skating as well. So it just merges all these communities together which have once been separated.
My generation, as I was growing up, the attitude was that you get to a certain age and you settle down and you have your family and you get your slippers out and your pipe and your knits. But now we're in a generation where young people are being told their generation isn't going to be told that they have to stop when they reach 50. Every time you do something and achieve something, I've said this many times actually, you walk a little bit taller. You've got a little bit more confident. I sometimes walk down the street just going, I skateboard,
If I can't land a trick, it doesn't bother me, because that's not the reason I do it. I love skating, but if you took it away, if I ended up in a wheelchair and I couldn't skate, well, that's fine. I'll worship God another way. I'll find some way.
There's a little verse in the Bible, John 10:10, which is about commanding that I live life to the full. And that's how I live my life, and that's why I'm a bit like the Duracell bunny, really. Lots of smiles, lots of action, but it's living life to the full.